Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here joining me for this episode. So, today I'm talking about self promotion. Self promotion, chatting yourself up, putting air quote your best foot forward, looking good. You know what? Where do you put your attention on looking good? Or who do you promote yourself to? Think about that now for a moment. That, and we all do to some degree or another. And golly, I certainly know this from my corporate days, and even as an entrepreneur now, and even as a mom and a wife and a daughter. For so much of my life, I work to look good in the eyes of others, looking good, thinking it's going to get me something I want, looking good, thinking it's going to make my life easier, looking good, thinking it's going to put things in my favor, whether that's, hey, doing things with my daughter, having a conversation with my husband, making things go smoothly when I was in Fortune 500 with a client, trying to get a promotion, trying to get the next job, looking to hire employees, whatever it is. Our tendency is let's look good in front of others. And not in even a fake or, oh, yeah, I'm lying or I'm exaggerating or any of that kind of way, because I know you don't do that. You're a beautiful soul. You've got amazing qualities about you, and you are then sharing those qualities with others in order to serve and grow and help. You're successful already. You didn't get there because you didn't have something to offer. You didn't get there because you didn't have skills. You didn't get there because you didn't have knowledge or years in service or any other qualification that got you then the job or the business you created or the clients or the relationship or the things that you wanted in life. That didn't just come out of thin air because you didn't actually have the props to get there. No, you've done some work. You've got the cred to back it. But the thing is, none of that is really the big important stuff. And this is what was coming home for me this week. I was thinking about this with there's some things shaking up in my life. I can feel the energy shifting for me. I can feel the energy shifting in my business for me. I've got 7 bazillion ideas flowing through me at the moment, and I can't seem to write them down fast enough even to capture them all or get the full essence of them. And you know what's been popping up? The voices in my head. Teal, do you know enough to do that? Teal, have you lived that enough to do that? Who's going to want to buy that for you? Teal, they're not interested in that. That's not what people want right now in this economy, in this world. Teal, you can't charge those kind of prices. The economy's down. Teal, you can't do this. Oh, Teal, that's silly. Inner critic, inner chatter, all of these naysaying voices that run around in my head a lot less than they used to. But even as a successful woman, just like you, the voices are still there and they need dealt with. They need dealt with. Because if you bought into all of that chatter and that inner critic and that nonsense and that head trash, we never move, do we? We never move. But where do we spend so much of our time then in how we converse with ourselves about ourselves? How much of your time are you spent promoting yourself to others, hyping yourself up to others, sharing how you can help, sharing how you can serve, sharing your qualities, your skills, your open-heartedness, your generosity, and letting the world know about how amazing you are and how you can help and what you're so good at and how you can contribute and all of the blessings and ways you can help others make their lives better? When do you have that conversation with yourself? How often do you say that same message to yourself of how awesome you are, of how great you're doing, of how much you know, of how you make it all happen, of how you are devoted and courageous and generous and kind and so qualified? How often are you sharing that message with yourself? This is what I'm talking about with self promotion. You are the most important person to self promote yourself to. Because honestly, if you were doing everything that you wanted to do and you wanted to get the job that you want, and it's yourself that's hiring you, hey, they're not going to hire you because you're not talking the good game. Would yourself hire you based on the promotion you're doing to yourself? How are you speaking to that inner critic in your head? How are you speaking to yourself and promoting yourself and talking yourself up and putting your best foot forward and shining a light on all of your amazing qualities? Chances are you're not doing it so great. And I get it because I've been there. That has been me. I've always been very hard on myself, with less of that now, of course, in my life. But the programming has always been leaning more toward, hey, Teal, you're not doing this good enough. Do it better. It's not enough. Do it better. Do more. Something along those lines. Continuous improvement. And boy, do I get the continuous improvement thing, because you know what? That was a huge part of what I did then in the corporate world. And it's a big part of my skill set even now, continuously improving. Well, what is continuously improving looking at? It's looking at, yes, things you are already doing well and then doing them better. But even more than that, it's looking at where things are below the bar and you want to bring them up to scratch and then expand them. You look at these things in the business world and it's about improving service. It's about cost savings. It's about better quality. It's about profit. And you know what? It's all driven by fear. It's all driven by fear. The not good enough, could be better, all of those things, it's all driven by fear, because if you're in this place, then you're not saying, hey, it is good enough and I am content and I am at peace and all is well. You can be in that energy and place and still expand into more. And you've had success in your life, so you know what I'm talking about. But it's about promoting yourself to yourself, because you are then the gatekeeper. All of that inner critic is gatekeeping you from then moving forward into higher levels, into expansion. When that naysayer is going, if you listen to it, it's putting the brakes on. So what if you bring that naysayer onto your side and show them and tell them, hey, me, no. I am qualified. I can do this. I do know this. I've lived this. I can help. I'm really good at this. You remember how I helped myself with this? Do you remember how I helped this other person with this? Look at how generous and caring and kind and compassionate and loving I am. Oh, look at what I did, XYZ wonderful thing for my husband. Look at how I helped out my parents. Look at how I did this. Look at how rich and generous and giving and kind I am. Look at how, oh, I created all this money in my life. Look at that. Hey, that check just came in the mail. Oh, look, that pair of boots that I wanted. True story here, guys. True story here for me this week. Shopping for snow boots because, hey, the snow is coming sooner rather than later. And I'm like, you know what? I want this really kind of a raspberry, purpley, red, pinky, maroony color. And I want them to be tall enough, a mid-calf kind of thing. I've really liked this one pair in the past, but you know what? I'm not seeing it anymore. I want it to be fuzzy inside. I want it to look cute for going into town and kind of shopping on the town. But at the same time, you know what? I want to be able to strap it into snowshoes and head out and go hiking through all the deep snow around here and stay warm and cozy and dry. I want that. This is what I intend to create. And I don't even use the word want, because want has a frequency of lack attached to it. Say, this is what I intend to have, this or something even better. I wasn't seeing it. I saw it pop by in one place and then it was out of stock. And I thought, they never sell these on Amazon. I doubt they're going to be there, but then nudge, soul nudge, go look at Amazon. There is the exact pair of boots I saw in my imagination. One pair left. I kid you not, one pair left in my size. It was there for me. One pair, that's all I need. And it was there for me. Even more amazingly, even though it's not amazing because all is synchronicity, nothing is coincidence, our energy creates it all. There it is at a price, like, I don't know, percentage wise, but anyway, a big drop in price compared to what it could have been. Now, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for some savings or anything like that. I was going to buy what I want and it was all just fine. Buy what I intended and it was all just fine. But there it is. So not only did I get the pair that I wanted in the color that I wanted, but even at a financial savings for greater financial investment in my pocket for me to then invest in other ways. And when these things happen, do you blow them off? Because this is then proof also of, hey, you created that in your life. Look at how powerful you are. Look at that. Hey, financial abundance in your life. Look at that. Just what you intended to create in your life. All of these things, if you look around you, you have created. And are you talking that up to yourself? To give yourself a pat on the back, not in a way that's a bragging or a, oh, I'm so good or oh, I'm so important. No, but to truly see how amazing you are, what you create, the inherent power that you have. It's not bragging because it is your power. And chat that up to yourself and promote that to yourself. What is this doing? Is not just then shutting down that inner critic, all the naysaying, that negative frequency, that negative energy. But over time, this is reprogramming you as well. The more you shine a light on how amazing you are to yourself, you're further just stamping that down into your identity and your reprogramming and recognizing the truth of who you already really are inherently as an infinite, eternal soul and divine cosmic being, goddess, seeing that truth. And you start to feel it. And as you feel it, what is feeling? Feeling is frequency. And you start to live then in that feeling, in that frequency more and more. And you shine that out more and more. And you create more and more of that. It just feels more and more natural. So promote yourself to yourself. This is what I'm talking about. Chat yourself up. Put your best foot forward. What is your resume that you want to present to yourself to hire you for the job of being you and living your life in an amazing way and creating amazing things? It's not about impressing anybody else. Doggone it, impress yourself. And none of it's a lie or self-aggrandizement. Speak from the heart. Start looking truly at everything you do and seeing the magic and love and light and joy and goodness and contribution you bring to this world through your energy, through you being you, the big heart you already have, and use. Recognize it, give yourself credit for it, and bring it then into your awareness and share that then with yourself. And one of the ways that I love doing this, and I do this with my daughter, it's something we do, especially at bedtime as she's going to sleep, because as we're going to sleep, we are even in a higher state of suggestibility and reprogramming. Of course, children are constantly in basically a theta brainwave state where they're just little video cameras running around recording everything. But I do this at bedtime and it's part of our beautiful ritual with the day. And I do this for myself as well. So I invite you to do this as part of your bedtime ritual when you wake up in the morning. Say this in front of the mirror, looking deeply into your eyes and see yourself looking back at you, your true self looking back at you. But this is what I say. And I invite you to use it too, because to me, it always feels so good and so beautiful. But I am amazing and wonderful, beautiful inside and out, perfect and worthy in every way. I'm a beautiful goddess, an infinite, eternal soul, and divine cosmic being. And all is well in my world. All is already mine. Yeah. And even more than that, give yourself a big hug while you're doing this and looking at yourself in the mirror. You're just speaking truth. You're just speaking truth. You're speaking truth to yourself. But it's about time you spoke truth to yourself. Yeah, it's about time you spoke truth to yourself and amp it up. You're on this path, so I know, yes, you're already doing the self-talk. You're already working in this way. You know about self-worth and self-love. But I know that inner critic is still there. I know the inner voice is still there in a negative way that isn't always supportive. I get it. And so there's always something else to share with yourself about how inherently fabulous you are and how you're doing all these things in your life and the proof of it. And share that with yourself because I know it can be so easy to lose sight of it, even when we are living in a path of generosity and caring and compassion. When you are doing amazing, beautiful, loving things out in the world with your family, with your employment or your business or whatever you're doing in your community. But chances are you're also moving along pretty quickly and your days are pretty full. And if you're not careful, you quickly lose sight of even the beauty of what you're doing and how beautiful you are doing it. Sure, it's part of your normal. You're just rolling along. You may not even think twice about it. But it's so important to promote yourself to yourself, to give yourself that loving feedback and loving awareness about truly how amazing you really are and all that you're already doing. And all that is going to do is just fuel you and your frequency, your energy, your power, your personal power, and your poise, and your soul guided wisdom awareness to just keep expanding everything you're already doing even more and open up other avenues. And that's then you creating more and more of what you want in your life. So, truly a beautiful thing. So, I invite you to do this. I really do. And play with it. See what comes for you. But before you think next time about, I'm going to promote myself to someone else, I'm going to apply for a different job or send out a grant request or reach out to somebody about being on their podcast or sending out a request even for new hires in your company, whatever it is, where you want to promote yourself to someone else, pause. Really take a moment and pause. Promote yourself to yourself first. That's going to raise your frequency and your energy. And then what you then put out when you interact with the world and someone else to speak your truth and share your light and how amazing you are with them so that you can help them, it's going to come across at a much higher frequency and support you in a much more powerful way. So promote yourself first, most, always, and last, forever. But I invite you to try this and experiment with this in front of the mirror, at bedtime, in the car, in the morning when you wake up, wherever that feels called to you. And let me know what you think of it, how you feel, how it goes, and I'll leave it for there. So, as always, shine bright. You're wonderful, truly. So, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.